Welcome back to Talk of the Town. I'm joined now by our news partner, Eric Hewitt of the Medicine Shop Pharmacy in Monona. Thank you so much for being here, Eric.
Thanks for having me back.
Great to have you here today, and it's summertime. We've had warm days, we've had cooler days, we've had some wind, some rain, some sunshine, so everything under the sun, literally.
Typical Wisconsin, right?
Absolutely, but summertime always brings, different questions for you as our expert, and so I wanted to start off with, what are some common summer ailments that people should be aware of?
Sure. I think obviously the first thing that people think of, appropriately I think, is sun exposure.
Right.
And sunburns and things like that and how to prevent them. But also what's hot in the news right now are insects, and insect bites. Over the last couple of years we've had a lot of ticks in Wisconsin, also mosquitoes spreading disease, and specifically this year with the Zika virus and things like that. So. And then also you get things growing and things like that, and so you have things like poison ivy and poison oak and other kind of skin irritations that can commonly occur in the summer months.
So many different things to be aware of. Sometimes it kind of makes you feel hopeless, but that's why we have our experts like you to kind of guide us in the right direction, and you can be safe in different ways.
Absolutely.
And I know you mentioned sunburn. And so what are the key elements of picking the right sunscreen and applying it properly? Because I think a lot of people maybe think they know, but they don't know.
Right. So, I mean, first off, you're going to want something that has a decent SPF coverage. The fives, the tanning oils, obviously those are probably not going to be doing a whole lot.
Right.
But it's really best to apply before you get in to the sun, before you're exposed to it. And then the biggest thing is just reapplying. I think a lot of times people think, I got a really high SPF sunscreen that I just put on, I should be good for most of the day then. No matter what SPF sunscreen you're putting on, it's really best to continue to reapply. So, making sure you have a decent SPF and make sure you're reapplying are really the biggest things.
Right. And I'm so guilty of that too, as many people are. And I'm sure people kind of take for granted that it's important really to just follow the directions on the bottle. And, use that kind of as a guide too.
Yep.
And so as a pharmacist, and you're the pharmacist and the owner as well, are there certain medications that cause people to be more sensitive to the sun?
Absolutely. And we always have conversations with our patients about that. I won't go in through, a long list of what that is, but I encourage people to talk to their pharmacist about that. Because it is something that those people are going to definitely have to be more diligent about covering themselves up. And sometimes sunscreen for those people isn't enough.
Wow.
They have to put on hats and wear longer sleeves and that kind of thing, because it creates such a sensitivity to sunlight that those are better precautions than just sunscreen alone.
Sure. Are there any, general different medications that people should be aware of that may cause that?
Yeah, there's definitely some blood pressure medications that are out there, some anticonvulsants that people use for seizures, or nowadays a lot of them are used for nerve pain or some other different ailments and things like that. So it's really best to have a conversation with your pharmacist about that if you're at all concerned about that.
And most of the time that'll be listed too on the label of your medication as well, right? So take that very seriously.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. And so are there other skin reactions that are more common this time of year? I know you had mentioned poison ivy and different plants like that.
And that's a big one, that people, and we've already seen it, come through our doors as well. So those are big things because those things don't really grow, and we're not outside doing yard work, obviously, in the winter months. So those are big things. Also, people can have kind of heat-related skin reactions and things like that. So those are definitely, more common in the summer months compared to, the colder months that we experience.
Sure. Now, how about ticks and other insects? And I know ticks are just personally one of my biggest fears, and I feel like you can't avoid them here in Wisconsin. So I guess, how about those? What can you do?
Yeah. So you can, try and, for insects and things, obviously they have the bug sprays out there. There are even some natural options if people prefer not to have some of the chemicals on their skin, which we understand. But the biggest thing with ticks is you need to check if you've been out in any grassy areas, not even full woods, or maybe just even out at a park. You need to make sure that you're checking your loved ones, yourself, for ticks, because it's not just having a tick on you that can be gross. It actually can spread more serious diseases as well. So it's something you have to be kind of more diligent about.
And that can really turn into something much more serious if it goes unnoticed.
Absolutely.
So that really is important.
Yep.
So where can people find, more information about any of these different topics?
I always, have people use the pharmacist as a resource. I mean, that's really what we went to school for.
Yeah.
At the medicine shop, that's what we prefer to do. We love going out on the floor to, explain things to people and really be their, their resource for those types of things.
Wonderful. Well, thank you so much for being here today, Eric. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Always a wonderful resource, so thank you so much. Medicine Shop Pharmacy in Monona. Thank you for watching Talk of the Town today, only on Channel 57.